This motherfucker comes along and it's like, oh shit.
You don't want to compare a player to Michael Jordan. You will get your feelings hurt.
You shoot airball scummies at the free throw line and then wipe your pants like your hands was wet. Stop.
I never played against Oscar Roberts or Jerry West. Would have loved to. And we, paved the road to the Kobe's and the LeBrons, right? It's the beauty of the game of basketball that a player has evolved the game further. But don't then now use that against the player that actually taught you the game or that you learned from. I would love to have played against LeBron and Kobe in my prime, but we'll never be able to know that. I think LeBron has had an unbelievable career, and I admire him for what he's done. And Kobe, as well as KD, and all these guys who have played in this era, I think they've elevated the game of basketball tremendously. I just don't agree when you start trying to put one above the other. Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell had 11 championships.
Yeah.
How do you just push them in the corner and say, we ain't gonna think about you. We forgot about you.
They think I'm a LeBron James hater. I'm like, I love LeBron James as a basketball player. I think that as a basketball player, he's the most all-around basketball player that ever touched the basketball. There's nobody. They get mad because I don't agree that I don't think he's better than Jordan. I'm like, I played against all three of them. I never seen Jordan or Kobe shoot an air ball at the free throw line. Have you?
Nah.
You?
Don't remember.
If you shoot airball scummies at the free throw line and then wipe your pants like your hands was wet, stop. Come on, man. It shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath as Michael Jordan.
Anybody that played in that era would tell you Michael Jordan was head and shoulders above them all. Excuse my language, this motherfucker comes along and it's like, oh shit. Second year in the league, he misses a whole bunch of games, got the foot injury, came back with just a few games left. Shows up, Boston Garden, game 2 against Bird, dropped 63.
And lost. Through the legs.
And Bird,
And lost.
but wait a minute, it didn't matter. Because when Larry Bird, a white superstar, busting black players' ass on a night in, night out basis, runs across you and says, quote, that is God in gym shorts.
Mm-hmm.
It's over.
Arrogant.
It's over, right? And so then couldn't get over the hump. Isaiah and the Pistons kept standing this way time after time after time. I know this because Isaiah Thomas keeps reminding me. We used to kick his ass. We used to kick their ass all the time. They used to beat him. Him, Lambert, John Sally, Dennis Rodman. You had all of this going on, and they kept standing in Jordan's way. And when he lost, never, ever did anybody look at Jordan and say it was his fault. He couldn't beat him, but you went like this. You found yourself crying. Pippen with the migraine. Game 7. Everybody losing their mind and Michael Jordan on the bus crying when every single time there's something. Because this brother averaging 35 one year, 33, another 37, another busted everybody's ass. No help when it really, really counted. And so all of that was going on. And he had ascended to such a point. There was no one else.
That's true.
There was no one. And I'm telling you what I know. There was nobody.
Stephen, okay, but then why not acknowledge that David Stern's agenda ran hand in hand with all of this Jordan is the greatest bullshit?
I'm not saying it doesn't go hand in hand. What I'm asking is,
I have the NBA and Nike.
What I'm asking is, what are you trying to say? That because David Stern was choosing to market Jordan, that somehow that gave Jordan an edge over other players?
No, I'm saying that because David Stern chose to market Jordan and because Nike chose to market Jordan the way that they did with these catchy jingles and like Mike and these commercials and the sneakers and everything was fire, it added to the fans painting Michael Jordan as the best in the world. He cannot be beat.
Easy argument to dispel with this one fact. You are wrong when you say David Stern chose.
To paint.
Nike chose.
Yes.
They had no choice.
I'm agreeing
He
with
was that
Oh,
dominant.
no, I agree with this.
Let's look at it. Magic was older now, in 91 when Jordan won the first title. Clyde Drexler and them in Portland, that's the second title. Third title, Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley. It would have been great for the NBA if Barkley would have won the title. Oh, that would have been something they could have built off of. Couldn't happen. Then you had Sean Kemp.
Yes.
Skywalker. Skywalker with the glove, Gary Payton. You had, and they would have done anything for John Stockton and Karl Malone to win. And let's not forget the Eastern Conference. Riley goes into New York, and Riley tries to emulate Bad Boys basketball. Yep. You get Anthony Mason you got John Stockton from
Oakley,
a grocery store. You get
dudes.
Oakley. You get him from Chicago. You get Anthony Mason from the CBA. You got Xavier McDaniel. First, remember, Nick's first playoff run when him and Jordan were head to head with each other, face to face, getting in each other's face. Jordan like F you, blah, blah, blah. Xavier McDaniel wasn't backing down. Nick's saying they're coming. Indiana on the come up. Somehow, some way, no matter what obstacle you threw in the way of Michael Jordan, he knocked him out.
He overcame him.
He knocked him out. And everybody knew, and as a guy that's been covering the NBA since 1996, here's what I would tell you. Everyone has religiously said to me, you feared Jordan. You respect all these other dudes. The fear that Jordan would instill in you, because he was the kind of person, I'm going to drop 50 on you tonight. And he would do it. And embarrass you. And by the way, then he turned around and defensively shut your ass down. He would do whatever it took to get the most out of you, because he wanted you at your best. He wanted you at your best so he could annihilate you and completely demoralize you from ever thinking you could fuck with him again.
And that's what they said.
That is Michael Jordan.
We saw what happened when he faced the crossover from Allen Iverson.
Let me ask you a question.
He damn near fell on his ass. We saw what happened when he went up against a white boy with some game, Rex Chapman, and Rex Chapman served him up. If Rex Chapman can serve up Mike,
hey Joe, then
what do I think Mike is going to do?
Please never put Rex Chapman and Michael Jordan's name in the same sentence.
I would never, but they played against each other.
So?
And
I'm happy to explain.
Y'all would tell me that Michael Jordan, who won all the Defensive Player of the Year awards, never got cooked. So if he got cooked,
I never said
nobody
that.
says that.
Say that, Joe.
Nobody says that.
They speak when they speak of Michael Jordan. They speak like he never got cooked.
Every person
if them niggas was cooking Mike, what the fuck was Mike going to do against the Splash Brothers?
Whenever you'd like me to explain it to you, I will.
Oh shit!
Whenever you ready.
Oh shit!
Whenever you ready.
Joe on Joe.
Give it to me.
Okay.
Give it to me.
Couple of things. Every damn player's gotten cooked with a move here or there. I would like to remind you that the year that Allen Iverson did that crossover on Jordan, Jordan won the championship. That's neither here nor there. Here's the deal. Jordan, when you look at him, you look at today's generation of players. Nobody is taking anything away from the fact that today's generation of players look better than they've ever been. They're faster, they're more athletic. They clearly can shoot better to some degree. But the word adaptation is applicable.
Evolution.
You have to be able to look at somebody, and we can look at certain players and we could say they could never be blah, 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 blah. There is no one on this planet that would ever look at Jordan and say that. There's no one that would look at him and say he could never be a three-point shooter. There's no one that would look at him and say he could never, be a big guard and do what Kobe did. Well, there's no one that would look at him and say he could never do what LeBron James did with the no hand checking rule now and what have you, because you can't do the hand checking rule. All right, first you had the Jordan rules. Rules were made to negate what Jordan brought to the table. Why? Because he was so dominant in isolation that you literally made it illegal to have two dudes on the same side on a wing offensively in order to deal with it. You had to deal with him because this brother in isolation would destroy people. He'd rip souls. You understand? And these are guys that admitted it. They talked about we don't know what he is. I love when John Sally said when they were taping The Last Dance and stuff, and they had a line in there. He said we had to get him. The rule was get him before he gets airborne, because he's not human, right?
He's
not human.
Shout out to John Sally.
This is what they did. Absolutely. This is what they did. And so now we got to take into account. Now here's where the whole LeBron thing, and I'm just going to listen. LeBron, to me, is top 2 all time. If you disagree, you disagree. Where I get annoyed is when somebody's acting like I'm hating or disrespecting because I got him 2. The NBA started in 1947, goddamn. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a 19-time All-Star, 6-time champion, 6-time MVP, all-time leading scorer when he retired. The only individual in the history of the sport invented by James A. Naismith who had one patented move that was never duplicated nor ever stopped. That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I have LeBron ahead of him. I'm looking at Jordan, a 10-time scoring champion. I'm looking at Jordan, a 9-time all-first-team NBA player. First team. I'm also looking at a 6-time champion, 6 NBA Finals MVPs, never allowed one single championship series to get to a Game 7. Not only do I have that to bring up Michael Jordan, but also first team all defense. I already said it 9 times.
Well, that's back when they played defense.
All right, you got all of this. That 5-time league MVP. All of this other stuff is going on. He never choked in an NBA Finals.
And
his father died. He left the game. Jordan would have won 8 straight. He would have won 8 straight.
Whoa, I don't know that.
I believe. Okay,
I don't know that. That's speculative. Robert Ory, when you asked them, Kenny Smith, he talked about when you asked them, they believed that they would have.
Yeah. Okay, and I think, and Kenny Smith, in fairness to you, Kenny Smith did tell me that, and I told him he needed to get drug tested. But the point that I'm trying to make to you, and that's my brother right there, we're very tight. But my point to you is that if Jordan won from 91 through 98, and then on the last 2 years it was Houston. But there was a 2-season gap where he didn't win because the first retirement and the second he came back out of retirement with only 17 games left, and then Nick Anderson got the best of him when he was rusty, and then he destroyed him and get swept him the next year.
I hate when y'all do that.
Right?
No, he just stripped the ball. Nick Anderson got him.
I said Nick got the best of him. But the point is that you had that 2-year gap. That 2 years was Jordan's prime.
True.
Those 2 years that Houston won was Jordan Prime. It wasn't at the tail end of his career. So if you could win 3 straight, miss it 2 years, and then come back and win 3 straight, why couldn't he win 2 straight in the middle? True. Now, if you said he can't win it on the back end, I get you. But why not in the middle when that was his prime? All-Star weekend, the game is coming down to the wire. Kobe claps his hands, spreads his arm. I'm guarding you. Here we are. And LeBron turns the ball over because he tries to make a corner pass to Carmelo. Forget the pass for a second. Melo, D-Wade, Kobe all descend upon LeBron. What's wrong with you? What you doing? Because it was evidence that he was psyched out. There was never any questions about his ability. Mentally, he didn't have that confidence. And so his whole commitment was to doing it the right way because it was the only thing he was confident in. He wasn't confident in his free throw shooting. He wasn't confident in his perimeter shooting. He wasn't confident in having that killer instincts that people thought he had it because he dropped 25 straight against Detroit. Right. But it didn't stop there. He had other moments where it wasn't there. What I'm saying to y'all is this: that was never Jordan. And that is what separates. If you want to tell me that LeBron eclipses Jordan, I would say to you, give me 2012 to now. You got an argument. We can have that discussion. I don't believe it, but we can have that discussion. But when you take into account those formative years where you had to go and join D-Wade, when you had to have a press conference for the entire season and you can't even sit by yourself to answer questions because D-Wade, your big brother, has to sit next to you because your confidence is that shot.
He wasn't feeling safe.
When you have that going on, there we go. When you have that going on, that was never Jordan. Ever.